Hello everyone, it's Graham, paranormal researcher, just at the grave of my dad, and Warren Leer's got the Half Paranormal app going, see if he wants to say hello. Dad, it's Graham. Go get a clear picture of Dad. Dad, it's Graham. Do you want to say hello, Graham? Through the app, Dad? Or hello, Gina? You don't have to. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to run down everything this week. Pretty busy at work. We're still, plodding on as usual, and everything's going good. Mum's back out of hospital. She's just looking at she's in the back of the car. I don't know if you can focus on her. The dark windows. Yeah. So, okay, Warren, Jeffrey. Leer, born 27th of September 1933, died and reborn as the best spirit dad in the world, 27th September 2022. Loving memory of her amazing father and husband who died on his birthday at the age of 90, which is really 89. Dad, you were the greatest father in the world who was kind, gentle and understanding. You are now an angel in heaven with God. You will be in our memories forever, and our love for you will remain for all eternity. And I'm going to say to our Father, Dad, okay? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. I love you, Dad. 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 Okay? So... okay, well they've got some new stones here now for the other members. It's opening up a new area down here. So it's actually a very small cemetery. It's only got about 200,000 people in it, so it's not a big cemetery in any means. There's people over there. There. There's the marble statue of Jesus. You can see it in the distance. It's a pretty big statue, that. So they've got one there and then one on the other side as well. So, and these are Cadaver Trees. Or Cadaver Trees. I say that because what happens, I could call the trees around here and all cemetery trees Cadaver Trees, because what they do, when you bury someone, their body actually disintegrates and it leaks fluid like you've never seen. And so what happens, because I've been involved in investigations of homicide murders. So what we do is that, just say somebody's buried, you go and take a sample of the tree. You just say you're in the forest, right? And you have indication that they might be around. What you do is you take samples of the trees. And you'll actually find human DNA in the trees, because what happens, the roots, like that tree for example there, the roots travel deep under the ground, right? So what happens is when you bury someone for a time, it takes, I think on average, takes on average 10 years for the body, after you bury someone, or they're buried, for the body to disintegrate. It takes 10 years, right? Before it turns into bone. So in that time, you've got leakage of bodily fluids. So what happens, the roots actually of these trees suck up the fluid from the actual bodies that are at the cemetery, the trees that are nearest. Anyway, human DNA ends up in the tree. So if you do what the FBI usually do when they're looking at trees in America, because a lot of people get buried in the forest and they have a presumption that somebody's buried somewhere, they will actually take a sample of the tree and they'll test it and they'll find DNA in the tree from the dead body that's buried near the tree. So there's no need, and then when they do samples, they sample all the trees in the area and there's no DNA samples, they know that nobody's buried there. But if they do find some DNA, what they'll then do is they will proceed to go ahead and then start digging at that stage, and they'll bring the cadaver dogs in, or cadaver dogs, and they'll bring them in, and then they'll sniff around and then find out if there's somebody buried. But they're not going to start digging holes unless they have good, it costs money to dig a hole. It takes a lot of energy to, depending how hard the clay soil is. The soil in this cemetery is rock hard. Like it's got clay in it, but it's super hard to, you know, you have to have a machine to bring it. And this is in a cemetery. If you're out in the forest investigating a dead body or dead corpse that's been buried there, you know, there's a lot of you know, muscle work that has to be done. Especially you can't just bring a big machine up, you know, to do it. So anyway, I thought I'd let you guys know that. So that's why we call them cadaver trees or cadaver trees. You know, all these trees here have DNA from the dead in them. So all these trees that are these big ones here, they're evergreens. Oh, so that's what we call them, cadaver or cadaver. Okay, and they're nice trees. The ones over there. So there's trees in the distance, right, on the other side of where the Hyundai's parked. Those trees there will not have any, except for that one, might have a small amount, depending on the new bodies that have been buried at the end there. So it depends how far the roots travels, you know. So if it travels far enough, yeah, it could have a bit, but the trees further down won't have any. You know, a big tree there, right in the distance, look at that one. See, evergreen as well. That's not going to have any problems with, well, there's no problems, but if they did a sample test on it, you know, find DNA, human DNA in the tree. You know, so you know, if somebody dies, part of their DNA is actually, yes, I'll just zoom out now. Yeah, if somebody dies, part of their DNA, especially if you get them near buried, if you get the opportunity when your loved one's buried, just get them buried near a tree, because their DNA is going to be in the tree itself. So, and that means part of them will be still living in the tree, okay? So I'm into paranormal, but that's basically how it works. There's a physical element of life after death, and you can actually be living inside the tree. Your DNA is actually in the tree, okay? So that's what I thought I'd let you guys know that. So if you ever get a chance to bury anybody in a cemetery, always opt for having them near a tree, and you know, the root system will supplement DNA in the blood and everything from the corpse. You know. Anyway, so I thought I'd let you know it's Graham Paranormal Research. I'm going to have to go now. I'm going to go to Angus's grave as well, so speak to you next week. Okay, see you guys. Love you. I'll also say goodbye to Dad. So before we go, I'll just give Dad 3 kisses and a 4th. So Dad, love you, mate. Love you, Dad. Love you, Dad. Love you, Dad. He's the best. He visits me a lot at the flat. His bumps and everything, he's incredible. So he's got a certain way of letting me know that it's him, and he comes in quite a lot, you know. And I've seen him a number of times at this cemetery, his Black Shadow. So yeah, he's very strong. My father's very strong, okay? Very strong spirit, and he's a beautiful person, beautiful spirit. Okay, so you've got to go. We've got to see Angus now, Dad, and we'll go to the restroom first, and then we'll see Angus's grave and then head off for shopping. Okay, so see you guys. See you later. Bye bye.